Before we get into the video, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor. Blinkist is an app that consolidates books into bite-sized chunks. The idea is you don't have to read the dozens of chapters in these books. It is a great tool for busy or easily distracted people. Some of the books that I'm reading include Attention Span by Gloria Mark, The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan with Benjamin Hardy, and I've recently picked up The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Of all of these books, The Art of Seduction is definitely a very, very interesting one. It's something that I think was very controversial for its time and is recently trending again. If you're interested in any other types of books, Blinkist has over 5,500 different titles in 27 different categories. Blinkist has recently introduced a new feature called Spaces, which is really good for book clubs, or if you have a really cool book that you would like to share with somebody in your community. As a premium user, you can share multiple spaces with the same people or new ones. It's really easy to create a space. As you can see, all you need to do is tap on the spaces icon in the bottom right corner of the screen. You tap on create space. You can type in the name of your space. Here I've put Big Brain Tings. Tap next and then add the titles based on your recent history. Tap on invite to invite the people that you would like to share your titles with. Start your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description box. Clicking that link will also get you 25% off your Blinkist annual premium. A massive thank you to Blinkist for sponsoring today's video. Hi everyone and welcome to today's reading. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I'm the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. In today's reading, we're going to be asking Spirit, how does this person's higher self see you? So let me explain a little bit about today's reading. It does not have to be a romantic reading. Technically speaking, you could address this topic with any one person in your mind. You could ask about your mother, for example. You could ask about your sister, your friend, an acquaintance, someone you just met. You could ask about a love interest, but I'm not going to be focusing the messages on that type of romance, love. We're going to be focusing it in general. So how does the person on your mind's higher self see you? It's a wonderful topic in my opinion. I'm very grateful to be able to do this topic, and there will be an extended for each of the groups as well. I haven't fully decided what that extended reading is going to be. We'll talk more about it in each of your groups. You got to start here to get there technically. So with that in mind, I do want you to take a mindful breath in before you consider choosing a group. I'm going to introduce you to the groups as well, but I do want to make sure that you come into this reading with clear intentions before selecting a group. Make sure that you are focused on the topic. We're asking Spirit, what does your person's higher self think of you? How does their higher self view you? So with that in mind, let's get into it. I'm going to start by introducing group 1 to you. Group 1, you have this beautiful crystal. If it will focus, gorgeous, stunning. And your affirmations card is, I am in perfect balance. So if you feel drawn to this crystal or this card, you'll be a part of group 1's reading. Group 2, you have this beautiful crystal. I think I've used this one before. We never really figured out what it was. It's definitely not a moonstone. I know heaps of you said that in the comments, but it's not a moonstone. It's either a jasper crystal or it's some sort of quartz. And your affirmations card is, I open my heart to love. So if you feel drawn to this crystal or this card, you'll be a part of group 2's reading. And then we have group 3 with this worry stone. I haven't used this worry stone yet, but it's beautiful. You can just sort of run your finger over it when you feel worried or anxious. It's a beautiful concept and it's an equally gorgeous crystal. I got it because it reminded me of Vincent van Gogh. So hopefully I can show you. There we go. That's what the crystal looks like. And your affirmations card is, I seek beauty everywhere I go, within everyone and everything I see. So if you feel drawn to this crystal or this card, then you'll be a part of group 3's reading. If you need more time looking at the groups, pause the video now. I will be doing a brief meditation after this clip to help those who need a little bit more assistance. Maybe you're wanting to really connect with your intuition before delving into the readings, and maybe you want to use that meditation to actually find which of these groups you're feeling most drawn to as well. So if you would like to join me in those groups, in that meditation, keep watching. It'll be playing right after this clip. Otherwise, click on the timestamps and join me in your reading. Okay, so welcome everybody to the meditation portion of today's reading. We're going to start by playing a quick note on the singing bowl just to help clear the energy and set the right energy / intention moving forward. So now would be a wonderful time to limit your distractions and keep your eyes on the screen if you can, or at least try to make sure that there's no other disturbances around you in terms of, for me, probably like a needy animal or a loud window that's still open and filled with busyness from the street. Maybe consider closing that or pulling the curtain over or the blinds down. And let's just make sure that we set a safe and calm space for us to connect to our intuition. Sorry, that was me. I couldn't hold the note the first time because my finger was hurting, but let's put that down. From this state, we're going to take in our 3 mindful breaths. I will be counting down from 3 to 1 to indicate how long you need to be inhaling and how long you need to be exhaling. We're going to try to pace ourselves. We do it for at least 3 seconds roughly. I do count quite fast just to help steady our breathing, steady our heart rate, and calm ourselves and our nerves, our senses, our muscles. So before we actually do that, make sure that you're in a position that is comfortable. Make sure that you're sitting in a comfortable position or lying in a comfortable position, that there's no strain on your muscles or joints. You can put your device down if it is handheld. You can consider lying on your back for this part of the meditation and keeping your eyes off the screen if that's better. You don't have to keep your eyes open as we take in these 3 deep mindful breaths. Are we ready? As a group, breathing in, 3, 2, 1, and release. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in, 3, 2, 1, and release. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Breathe in. 3, 2, 1, and release. 3, 2, 1. Now from this state, we ask upon our spiritual team, our angels, our guides, our ancestors, and Source themselves to help us find a group in today's reading that contains the most clear, honest, helpful, supportive messages. We understand that this reading is a general reading and it may not be meant for everybody. We are asking you to help us tap into our intuitive abilities so that we can feel which of these 3 groups contains the most clear, honest messages for us. Show us, please, Spirit. And at this moment, you can, from this point, let your eyes unfocus a little bit. If you haven't already, adjust the brightness of the screen so that it's a little bit kinder to your sight. Some of you like to turn your brightness up, others like to turn it down. Make sure you get a clear view of the 3 groups. If you are here trying to find guidance on which of these 3 groups you are meant to join, Let your eyes skim across the screen. Observe the colors, the shapes, the lines, the patterns on both the cards and the crystals. And when you find yourself being pulled or drawn back to one particular crystal or card, then you know where you need to be. Click on your timestamp to join me in your reading. If you want to repeat this meditation or you need more time, now is the chance to pause the video. Okay, welcome my group ones and those who chose this beautiful crystal or this card right here. If you chose either of these, you're in the right place. If not, definitely go back to the timestamps and make sure you pick the right group. I'm going to pop your crystal up here. Group 1, we're asking Spirit, what does the person on your mind's higher self think of you? It is going to be a fairly spiritual reading compared to what I've been doing lately. I'm pretty excited. There will be an extended as well, which we'll get into at the end. But for now, let's lay out your oracle cards and let's have a look at what their higher self thinks of you. Starting with the I Am in Perfect Balance card. Next we have from my Musical Messages Oracle deck. This card comes out so much for our collective, Just a Girl by No Doubt. So pause the video if you want to scan the QR code to listen to the song, or if you want to read the lyrics. That's also the maiden energy in that deck. Next we have Love Abounds, our Ace of Cups. We also have Abundance, the Grape card. It's also the number 23 in this deck, and we can see some Sagittarius, some water element, lots of imagery of stars as well on this card. Now we have from the Gabrielle Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back deck, Happiness is My Birthright. Beautiful bright colors on that card. And last but not least, we have Simplicity. Put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. There's some beautiful animals. I think that's a bunny rabbit. It's actually a cat next to the doggo in the bottom there. And then we have a duck and we have the horse. Lots of beautiful animations. They're not really animations, but illustrations. Animal illustrations. I think that's what my mind was trying to say. Okay, let's get into it. So, group 1. How does this person see you? You know what? I'm actually going to do some scrolling as well, so don't mind me. I'm going to go get my little notebook. I should have organized this before I sat down and started reading, but I feel like Spirit is saying I need to do this, so let's do it. I didn't think that was going to happen. Alright, let's zoom you out a little bit so you can see my scrollings. Okay. So group 1, please, Spirit. How does their higher self see them? Their higher self sees you as someone that is full of love. You have a lot of love to give. And they see you giving a lot. Like, that's a terrible illustration, but that's a hand. They see you giving a lot. This person thinks the world of you. Look at me drawing my little hands. I'm also getting the star imagery really strongly. That could be important to you. There is just this overall feeling of you really stand out to this person. You shine very bright. Rihanna's coming into my mind now. Specifically that song Diamonds. Shine bright like a diamond. I'm also hearing, only because this is my cousin's name, but it could be some sort of connection to you. Her name is Saoirse. There's a few different ways to spell that as well, though. So Gaelic or connections to parts of the UK could be significant to this group. What else can you tell us in how they view Group 1, Spirit? How does Group 1's person view them? Yeah, that Libra energy is coming in very, very strong with that balance card. I'm also seeing an Egyptian connection, mostly because of ancient Egypt with this Libra symbolism of balance and justice. But I feel like it's very important to this person that things are balanced. In fact, this person may pull away if they feel like they're negatively impacting you or if they're causing any disharmony to you. So I feel like this person has a part of a responsibility. Some of you, they put that responsibility over their own heads, but for others of you, there's an energy here of them feeling responsible for you due to how your relationship is. This person feels like you are someone that needs to be looked after. There is this weird dynamic in which you're there's like steps to it, there's levels to it, is what they're saying. So at times they put you on a little bit of a pedestal up here and they're down here, and then at other times they're having to step up in order to take better care of you and kind of meet you at a higher level. So it does feel interesting. If this is a relationship, it feels like you're constantly having to consider where the line is. It feels like this is a relationship that has blurred lines, in that if this is just as an example, this isn't going to apply to all of you. If this is like a parent-child relationship, at times it feels like they may have to kind of step down in order to be more of a parental role instead of the child, or at times you as the child may be stepping up. It kind of feels like there is this sort of, in order to bring balance into the connection, this energy of changing and needing to be adaptable to the circumstances. Outside of that, I'm also getting this strong message of there being a lot of love here. This person's higher self is really one that tries to look out for you. I feel like their higher self is very focused on your abundance, on what is best for you. And remember, this may not exactly be the truth for their 3D self, their ego, but their higher self is very much trying to look after you and offer you safety, as well as an opportunity to continue to share your loving nature with others. So at the moment, that opportunity could look like this person stepping back to give you space to explore that with other people, or it could look like this person needing to step up in order to give you what you deserve right now. Their higher self acknowledges that you deserve the best with this Love Abounds card, abundance, happiness is my birthright. It feels like their higher self is really trying to give you the chance to feel like things are going the way that you deserve them to go, if that makes sense. Because I'm kind of seeing with this simplicity energy here that there has been a restructuring in this relationship. For some of you, you've been working on this relationship for a while, but for others of you, this restructure was very new. It was very recent, and you had to really just consider going back to basics and letting go of any excess of energy here, any excess that was causing frustration or stress or even just tension. And you had to go back to basics in order to feel more grounded within self. I definitely see that their higher self is almost protecting you, but then we have the Maiden card here. Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. So it's a little bit frustrating because I think that this card is saying for a lot of you that their higher self is in this energy here of like, you don't need anybody, but there's still this like ego desire to take some of that away from you at times. Like this person's ego tries to overcompensate where you don't actually need that amount of care or compensation. Like you don't actually need someone to hold your hand. You don't actually need someone to baby you or to put you in this energy of, and it could be them. Again, that parent role is going to be interesting if that applies to you, but there's this feeling here of babying and coddling and swaddling, and to the point where someone feels unnecessarily protected and the other person is taking this like really seriously. But then the person that's being overly protected is like, you don't need to do this to me. I'm not just a girl. I'm not just here to wrap up in a pink ribbon and cherish. Like, you need to let me do things for myself. So there's this real, which is ironic because then we have, I'm in perfect balance. So I think that their higher self admires your diversity of character. You may have two very distinct sides to yourself, but it feels like there's a lot of aspects to you, and there's a lot of different ways in which you've proven to this person that you were strong. And their higher self is very aware of that, but their higher self is also having to constantly guide this person's ego around what they need to do versus what they just simply want to do, because it feels like it's a part of their relationship to you. I can see their higher self often trying to intervene by showing sort of little signs, or by making lessons really obvious and showing the solutions obviously, or the challenges obviously, so that the same sort of circles don't continue. But it's just the dynamics here is what I'm feeling like. I feel like your relationship is just like this with this person. I do want to pull your oracle cards to the side now, and we're going to have a look at tarot to see what tarot can tell us. Spirit, how does this person's higher self, how does this person's higher self see group 1? How does this person's higher self see group 1? How does this person's higher self? We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords reversed. How does this person's higher self? We have the Ace of Swords and the Moon reversed. I'm actually going to move these cards over here because there seems to be more of a gap over there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. And then we can put this deck down here if it'll fit, or over here. I'm trying to look at the camera to see what you guys can see. So at the back of the deck, we have the Hierophant. I'm just going to get a quick drink of water. Spirit's asking me to remind you to take notes and write down what resonates so you can reflect on it and see if that relates to another reading that you watch. Especially if you're watching readings about what this person is thinking and feeling about you, because their higher self is trying to connect the dots between what their ego is thinking and feeling, their subconscious, and now their higher self. So that might be helpful for you. So in terms of the tarot is telling us that their higher self has definitely had to kind of pull back the reins a little bit and restructure the way this person chooses to interact with you. And it hasn't come through, you know, you should do this, you should do that, what are you doing, this is wrong, that is wrong, why do you keep doing this? It's more so distracting this person with other responsibilities, with other goals, with other intentions, with other plans, with mostly responsibilities. But with the Hierophant reverse, they're also being distracted to pay more attention on the crux of their values, what is important to them right now, and why they want to invest energy. I can see with the Hierophant reverse that a lot of this person's ego is trying to control this relationship and the situation that they've gotten into with you. But their higher self is reminding them that you don't need that level of control. Their higher self sees you as someone that can't be controlled and shouldn't be. You should feel safe always, and you should feel supported always. But their higher self is almost encouraging this person to kind of loosen up a little bit and give you the dignity of risk to figure this out for yourself. With the Hierophant reverse, it's like you've graduated from this structure, so we need to unwrap the casing a little bit and let you get a few scratches on you because that's the dignity of life, is making mistakes and being able to learn from them so that you know what you enjoy doing and you know how you want to move forward. Their higher self is also trying to show them that you are someone who is very successful by yourself with the King of Pentacles. Their higher self sees you as an incredibly stable, successful, nurturing, responsible, committed, loyal person who is very capable of achieving what you put your mind to. And anything that you start, you are going to finish it, but in your own way. You're very unconventional in maybe your approach, but that doesn't mean that you don't get the job done. There is this non-conformist sort of energy here, especially with the Hierophant being reversed. But that kind of energy comes with the awareness of this is how you thrive. And trying to make you conform or reduce you to a specific structure is not in your best interest. With the Ten of Swords reversed, their higher self sees you as someone that is trying to do the best for you right now. It does feel like you've had a tough break recently. It could have been with this person. If not, it just feels like you've been experiencing difficulty in general. And the Ten of Swords reversed is like you're recovering from maybe even a sense of betrayal. But it's this idea of you really reaching a tough brick wall and finding a solution amidst that heavy mental game of defeat. When you really thought that you had something here to fall back on, it was kind of pulled away from you. Their higher self sees you as a very adaptable person because of this, and someone who is going to inevitably find the good amidst the bad. Someone who's been able to make something out of almost nothing, especially with the Ace of Swords being here too. It's like you are someone who's dynamic. You don't let your losses set you back. You don't let what has happened to you stop you, but it does definitely shape you. And this Ace of Swords is a reflection of you learning from your past experiences and being able to pivot off of what did or didn't work well in the past, especially with the Moon reversed following. It's almost like their higher self is seeing that you have so many layers to you. And it's interesting that the Ace of Swords in this deck is like a spiral staircase, because it's highlighting the fact that you have these layers and you have levels, and there's a lot of depth to you that you don't, or you haven't actually shown this person's ego yet. There may be secrets between you that you've had to keep for the sake of your own well-being and for the sake of being able to move forward and almost preserve what has been causing you struggles and issues. I can also see the Moon reversed as you being able to see how, well, actually, a lot of what I've been able to achieve for myself comes off of me being able to trust in myself and to trust what my intuition is telling me about other people. This person's higher self knows that you're a very intuitive person, but there's also this feeling of like when you get hurt, it has really impacted you. You may have had to cut ties or really separate yourself from people who have really harmed you in the past and gone, you know what, I'm not going to give another chance unless you can show me that things are going to be different. This person may have received an ultimatum in your relationship before, or they could have felt like you were pulling away because they just couldn't stand up in the way that you needed them to be there and support you. And their higher self is well aware that that comes from experience, that comes from, with the Moon card reversed, you having to always have your own interest at heart because you can't rely on other people to be there for you. The Moon card reversed is also about a deep connection into the unknown, being able to traverse this fantasy land of delusions and intuition. So their higher self does see you as a dreamer, someone that likes to escape reality. You have a deeper side to you that is twisted between fantasy and the unknown of potential, the energy of intention and people's desires versus what they actually do. So their higher self sees you as someone that is deeply connected to that realm, as well as your own logic, as well as your own, I feel like, success, but there's this strong connection to the material world that you have as well. The higher self sees you as someone that's going to achieve great things if you haven't already. It feels like you're someone who is bound to really make a name for themselves. You're going to have a level of status, or people are really going to know you for what you do when it comes to work or when it comes to community work as well. If this isn't something that gains you money, it's a charity organization. So let's have a look at how your higher self sees them now, and then we'll get some messages for your extended reading. How does group one's higher self see this person? How does group one's higher self see this person? We have the Two of Wands. How does group one's higher self see this person? Sorry guys, I just have to pick this up off the ground. I was doing so well and then it fell. We have the Magician reversed. Okay, what else can you tell us? How does group one's higher self see their person? The King of Pentacles reversed. You guys could be in a relationship together. There's a strong sense of responsibility and partnership between you both. We have the Hanged Man. Is there anything else you want to add about their higher self? The Eight of Pentacles. And at the back of the deck, we have the Page of Cups reversed. So, how does your higher self see them? Your higher self sees this person as someone that's very attentive towards you. This person spends a lot of time watching you. Your higher self sees this as someone that you both have potential with. Your higher self feels like there's a lot of potential, but there's also a lot that can happen in the future. But your higher self is like watching your ego kind of feel through this, because there are multiple ways in which this could work out between the two of you. It's highly dependent upon how the actions you take and how much you're willing to develop, because your higher self is saying, with a lot of hard work and commitment, in terms of over time, not all at once. We don't just have to put a lot of energy into this now, but with time and a lot of work, this is a relationship that I feel you're going to be very dependent upon. But they're also highlighting that this person serves a purpose in your life. They are not meant to be the one and only, in terms of you are supposed to have this feeling of self. And I think that your higher self sees this person as dangerous at times because, and again, our higher selves aren't really judgmental energies, so it's hard. I'm just using words that I can articulate, but it's really this energy of implication. Your higher self feels like you can become very implicated into this person's narrative to the point where you have the tendency to lose the structure of your own success and your goals and your long-term efforts. Your higher self sees this person as someone that you're very easily distracted by. This is somebody who, when you spend time with them or when they're in your life, it's like you lose your voice and you lose your power. So they see this person as somebody that's a little bit dangerous in that respect. And it's not necessarily a bad dangerous, it's just that they take a lot of power. They do see this person as somebody who there's this shared sort of energy of addiction, and it's the kind of addiction in which we fantasize and we get really into our daydreams and we kind of fall into that realm of dystopia where we're not really coming up with followed up and achievable goals. We're mostly just putting a toe into the coulda, woulda, shouldas and exploring all of the fates and what could happen if we did this, and this. So your higher self sees this person as someone that either gets really attached to you or you get easily attached to them. There is a strong feeling of attachment and fantasy. And I think that your higher self also sees this person as somebody who at times wants what you want and really aligns themselves to be in a position to receive from you, either gratuitously, in the sense of they do a little bit of this and you give them a lot of that, or it's from a standpoint of obligation and responsibility. Like, it's not a gift. I feel obliged to give this person this. They're my mother, they're my brother, they're my cousin, they're my partner. I feel like I need to look after them. So your higher self is recognizing that there is this sort of attachment and this need between the two of you. And your higher self sometimes feels like this person does take advantage of that. But your higher self is very much watching and waiting to see what decisions you're going to make next about this relationship, trying to guide you through to navigate your best possible outcome, to navigate the pitfalls, and to help you focus on that infinity kind of symbol, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and we always come back around. Your higher self is convinced that this is somebody who's meant to be in your life for a little bit longer, at least a couple more years at least. Based on the choices that you make, it's very much about establishing healthier dynamics as you move forward, so you can gain inspiration, support, and connection from this person without losing yourself to them. I do think that your higher self sees you as someone who may need to be a little bit more careful of the dynamics in which maybe someone's older or younger, or someone has more responsibility than the other. With the Page of Cups reversed, your higher self sees this person as somebody who may struggle to communicate to you effectively, because it feels like someone's either talking down on the other person and not being grateful or thankful enough, or the other person is not feeling confident enough to communicate their needs and wants and feelings in the situation. And so at the moment, your higher self is seeing this person as somebody who communication around emotions and emotional needs is not going well at all. Is there anything else? Your higher self is saying you've both kind of outgrown the certain dynamics of this relationship at the moment. So there does need to be conversations around emotional needs and what you can best do to support each other moving forward, if that's what you want. Okay, let's have a look at what we're covering in your extended reading. What are we covering in Group 1's extended reading? What do you want them to know about this person in the extended reading? Okay, we'll take them both. We have the King of Swords looking a little scary, and we have the Hanged Man. What else do you want them to know about this person in your extended reading, Spirit? We have the Five of Wands, and we have the King of Cups with the Chariot at the back of the deck. Okay, let me get my little voice notes up, because, oh my gosh, we're not doing that. Wrong app, abort mission. I'm going to replay this voice note in your extended reading to make sure that I cover everything that we've talked about. So Group 1, starting with your bottom deck energy, the Chariot reversed. Why is this connection experiencing delays and setbacks, challenges, turbulence? Spirit wants to advise the best advice on how to move forward in this connection, what you should and what you shouldn't do. We also need to talk about these two kings. We have a King of Swords and we have the King of Cups. To be honest, both of them are a little bit scary. One of them is barefoot. I do think that the relevance of having a king at the start and the end is that this is a connection in which you may need to start taking a little bit more charge of, being a little bit more active in how you address and approach this person. So I want to talk about that. The King of Swords is almost here to be the peacekeeper, the adjudicator, like somebody who is almost keeping the harmony and the balance. And then we have the King of Cups, who is trying to keep the emotional peace and make sure that people aren't kind of swinging too far left or right with their moods and with their feelings. So I think Spirit just wants to talk about the balance of this connection, the harmony, the partnership, and the emotional side of things. Is there anything that can be improved? I think you need clarity around this person's feelings for some of you, but for all of you, I can tell you right now that there is a lot of love here. There's no question about that. With the Hanged Man, we do also need to talk about this person's attachment to you. And I think we need to talk about how to get out of this feeling of being stuck. Because some of you do feel stuck in this partnership, or you feel stuck in an issue that has presented itself in this partnership, in this relationship, in this situation. So we're going to talk about perspective and what information you may be missing so that you can feel more liberated and more free and freer to be able to navigate some of the conflicts or issues and challenges here. Last but not least, let's talk about this Five of Wands. I've just got to quickly reset my camera. We're running out of time, unfortunately. Okay. So this Five of Wands is reversed, and it's highlighting a peaceful resolution to a challenging situation that could have been instigated by external people, other people's opinions, or other sort of external challenges. It could have felt like when it was raining, it was really pouring on this connection, a lot of things happening at once, a lot of conflict happening at once. So in your extended reading, we're going to talk about the resolution. It's going to happen if it hasn't happened already. What can you do about it? What do you need to know about it? It feels like the most peaceful thing is about learning how to put your focus and your energy into clear places. We know from the first part of your reading that this person was talking about simplicity. So let's see how that ties in for your end of things as well. So if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, group one, especially if the first part of your reading resonated, the link to your extended reading is in the description box. We can check that out now. That link will take you to my website where your extended reading is. Make sure you click on the right video before you purchase it. Please, you are group one of the What Does Their Higher Self Think of You video. So make sure you click on that, group one. But thank you so much for all of your time right here on YouTube. I appreciate you for being here, group one. It was a pleasure to do your reading. I hope it was insightful and fun for you as well. And I hope more than anything that we do cross paths in the future. Until next time, look after your beautiful self, and bye. Hi, my group twos, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this crystal or this card, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you don't mind the afternoon glow. It was a big part of choosing when to do your reading. If it obstructs the cards too much, I will bring the cards up to the camera so you can get a clear view on them. But in today's reading, we're asking Spirit, what does your person's higher self think of you? Now, it's very important that you come to this reading with a clear person in mind. You need to make sure that you're focusing on that person and that you're not sort of, what's the best word? You're not just sort of waiting to see what the reading delivers, if that makes sense. It's highly likely that this reading may have messages that cross over into multiple groups just because it's a general reading. We only have 3 groups. So see how you go, but it's my pleasure to be able to read for you today. Let us get into it without further ado. I'm going to put your first oracle card. I open my heart to love right here in the middle. Your next oracle card is from my musical messages deck. We have the fear card. Now I'm going to hold it so that you can pause the video if you need to. This can help you. This card has a little QR code that you can scan, which will take you to the song, or you could pause it to read the lyrics if you want to. You also have another card from this, deck. So your other card is Focus by Her, and this is the Self card. So we have Self and Fear from my deck. That's the Musical Messages Oracle deck. Next we have from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle, Simply Love, the Six of Cups. I have hiccups. Speaking of cups, hiccups. Let me just get a quick drink of water. Okay. Whew. Okay. Simply Love is the 6 of Cups in that deck. You also have Wholeness, the Black Mulberry card in the Greenwich Oracle deck. There's also the number 33 in this deck. And we do have Aquarius up in the top corner. Next you have I Am a Spirit Having a Human Experience and I'm Here to Get Closer to Love. This is from the Gabrielle Bernstein The Universe Has Your Back deck. And last but not least, we have Brothers and Sisters. So this card says, to get along with others, see the love and the best within them. Beautiful card. So interesting messages straight off the cuff, my group 2s. I can see that this person's higher self does have a lot of respect for you. There is a family bond here. This person may know your siblings or you know their siblings. This person feels like the two of you are very close together. So they feel like they know you pretty well and they feel like you know them pretty well as well. So there is a strong feeling of respect here, and there's also a strong feeling of like, I know you and you know me. So you guys seem to have history. This person's higher self acknowledges all of the beautiful memories that you've shared together, how much you know each other, and how much you've been able to create together in terms of memories, experiences. There's a lot of nostalgia. Their higher self thinks back on the past. So for some of you, there may not be a lot going on in the present, but this person definitely feels like they have a strong connection to your past. It also feels like their higher self is very much energetically connected to the way that your futures are coexisting. It feels like with the Aquarius card being, the Aquarius theme being here, you're supposed to kind of like parallel exist, you and this person. Your paths aren't meant to overcross or interlace. You're supposed to go parallel like the two lines on the Aquarius symbol, and you're supposed to be able to just sort of drift together, if that makes sense. I do think with the I'm a Spirit Having a Human Experience card, this card is very much about you and their higher self acknowledging that things do happen for a reason. So I feel like if there was any difficulty or challenges in your relationship previously, their higher self has been able to try to focus this person's attention more towards healing, and that expectation of things do happen for a reason. And as difficult as that experience may have been, like it had to happen in order for things to be able to move forward. And so I do see that this person's higher self is really just trying to find a way to forgive, not you, but the situation for what it did to each of you. And I do think for the Brothers and Sisters card to be here, the two of you may have this sort of familiar background that brings the two of you together. You could literally be brothers and sisters or have a family bond. But I also just see that card as you have this sort of history. So their higher self is definitely seeing you as someone that really helped shape this person into who they are today and into who they are to become. I think their higher self is indicating that at the moment you're not quite on the same page. You may not be overly invested into each other's lives at the moment. It feels like you don't really share too much with each other anymore for the Fear card to be here. It feels like you're both kind of stuck in your own zones at the moment. Their higher self is saying that it feels like you're on a different sort of, you're in a different wavelength. You're in a different zone. And it does feel like you're not really communicating a lot of feelings at the moment either. Even though this person, their higher self, has a lot of love for you, and there is a strong feeling here of being very supportive towards you, being very, excited, I guess, about your future. With this Aquarius energy, their higher self is rooting for you. They want you to be successful. But part of this person's ego feels like they want to be a part of your future as well. There's a bitterness within this person if they don't get to be a part of the success because they were a part of the hardships, if that makes sense. Like, it's like their higher self is finding all this love for you, but their ego is like, yeah, but I'd be pretty pissed off if group 2 doesn't let me in on their prize, on their success. So I definitely think that this person's higher self has a lot to kind of a lot of work to do in just marrying those energies of pure intentions. Is there anything else you can tell my group twos about what their person's higher self wants to say to them? What does their person's higher self think of them? Their person's higher self does often check in on you. We're all connected on that level, to be fair, but this person's higher self is definitely like, listen, how are you going? What are you doing? Do you need support? Please know that you just need to focus on yourself. Don't focus too much on me. What was happened was what was meant to happen. It wasn't supposed to stay that way, type of thing. That's what it feels like. Let's get some tarot cards out now. I'm going to pack these up. We will leave this card out just in case, dears. Let's bring this out. Okay. My group twos. What does their higher self think of group two, Spirit? What does this person's higher self think of group two? What does this person's higher self think of group two? Oops. What does this person's higher self think of group two? We have the Page of Wands reversed. What does this person's higher self think of group two? We also have the Star reversed. What does this person's higher self think of group two? We have the Lovers reversed, and we have the Ten of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so in terms of their higher self, I feel like their higher self is really trying to just check this person's expectations over the decisions that you make for yourself. This is definitely somebody that's more connected to your past, and their higher self is trying to say, cherish the experiences you have with this person. Don't place unnecessary expectations on them. So I feel like this person's higher self is really just thinking that you're someone that definitely deserves the freedom to be able to make your own choices. But there's also this energy here of you making choices that angers this person and just really makes them feel insecure about where they stand with you. It's like this person sees you do something and they go like, why would you do that? Like, that's not what we planned, or that's not what we talked about, or that's going to take you further away from me. There's a lot of insecurity, and I feel like this person's higher self is really just working to make sure that this person is giving you room to focus on who you are and to heal what you need to heal and to make decisions for your future. This person's higher self is very actively guiding this person. So in terms of what's going on behind the scenes, this person's ego is unhealthily attached to you and your future and everything that you have. In terms of, with the Star being here, in terms of everything that you have created for yourself. And I do see that this person may over-fixate on you from time to time. It's weird how we're trying to talk about their higher self and their ego is just so strong, it's coming through. It's like this person really hyper-fixates on you. So their higher self is trying to encourage this person, like, don't check up on them, stop stalking their social media, stop looking up, searching their username. Like, it's not healthy. You have to heal and they have to heal. And you can't keep doing this if you want to heal. You've got to give each other space. So I kind of feel like this person's higher self is thinking that you're someone who's going to do better if you give each other space, more space. There is the Ten of Pentacles here though. So there is this feeling of like there is still some sort of tie in terms of the future. And this could be children. If this is an ex, this could be the fact that, you know, it could be a family member from the first part of your reading. So there could be this tie here in how there is going to inevitably come to be a point where you have to Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm not tired. I just always end up yawning in readings where you almost have to give each other the chance to do better individually before you have to face each other again, so that when you do, you're on good terms or you're in a better place. Because it's almost like their higher self really thinks that you're someone who is going to do worse if you don't start making decisions for you and doing things more for you, and vice versa for this person too. Because I kind of feel like a lot of this person's ego is just craving to be much more interested in what you're doing than what they need to do. That's what this really feels like. It kind of gives me the vibe of, I can't water my own grass, so I'm going to just judge you, group 2, my neighbor, and acknowledge the fact that, you know, their grass is dying and this is what it looks like today and they should have mowed it yesterday, and really hyperfixating, just to use that as an analogy. That's not my personal experience, but it's just that kind of petty, like, why, you know? And I think that comes off of like a metaphor or some sort of saying that was, you know, check your own backyard before you offer to comment or even help somebody else's. And so I kind of wonder, with these cards here, my sweet souls, is there an underlying message of you needing to be a little bit more aware of the fact that this person has very unhealthy expectations over the choices that you're making for yourself, and how those choices should be unrightfully associated with their future, like they're claiming you as their outcome. Their higher self is saying, like, you were never supposed to be each other's wish fulfillment with the star, but you were always supposed to, for good or for bad, for better or for worse, inspire each other to heal and to focus on yourselves. And this person's higher self is very much acknowledging how they believe that your impact on this person has caused them to externalize a lot of their problems and to kind of look outside of themselves instead of within, for better or for worse. Because I can see this for some of you prompting a humanity streak, in which this person wants to become a humanitarian, a good citizen, a charitable person. But then for others of you, I can see how this has prompted a lot of divergence from some real issues in terms of them trying to fix other people before they fix themselves. So their higher self believes that you two have this relationship in which you over fixate on one another, and it's to the point where you're not able to actually learn and gather skills that can further develop you individually. Especially with this Page of Wands, sweet soul, it's almost like you're not able to give each other as much as you want to. You're giving each other, or you were giving each other more than you were able to give yourselves individually, if that makes sense. Is there anything else from tarot? Yeah, look, that's literally me right now. I'm looking at it all. I'm like, there's something else here. But the next question I want to ask might be able to reveal more. This is the Seven of Cups. The next question I want to ask is, what does your higher self think of them? So we might put these cards away because I just want to get clarity on that. My one clarifier card that I cut the deck with is the confusion card. So let's try a different deck and a different question. Group 2. Group 2, please, Spirit. With this person, what does Group 2's higher self think of them? What does Group 2's higher self think of them? We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles, excuse me. Both cards are reversed. What else does Group 2's higher self think of this person? What does Group 2's higher self think of this person? Yeah, because their higher self was like, we're not good for each other. We need to not distract ourselves by staring at the other person. We have the Knight of Pentacles, one more card for my group, this two pieces. We have the Fool card reversed. Your higher self doesn't like this person either. King of Swords at the back of the deck. So your higher self is looking at this person and going, we should have tried a different thing a long time ago. It was this feeling of your higher self tried to warn you about the situation before it got worse. Your higher self is so grateful that you are diverging your energy and putting it into a different part of your life. You're using your energy more wisely. Your higher self looks at this person and thinks that was a waste of our energy, but it was all part of the grand scheme of things. There's no such thing as wasting energy. Your higher self is more kind of concerned of the fact that you may have the tendency to want to go back and rebuild something instead of learning the first primary lesson. There is this energy of dipping a toe back in. So your higher self is almost judging this person's, well, I can use that word lightly. Technically, our higher selves don't really judge people. It's just the only word I have in my vocabulary that can describe what I'm feeling. It's like your higher self is looking over at this person and thinking, you know what, this person is just not worth our time right now with the Nine of Wands reverse. This is something that is going to really take more than what we can offer. And it's not in our best interest to continue investing energy into this. We need to really reconsider our choices. And with the Queen of Pentacles here, your higher self also thinks that this person is a bit selfish and doesn't really offer much stability, let alone align with your ego's values and with your human desires when it comes to experiences that can offer you growth, security, and this sense of success. Your higher self believes that this person is bad luck when it comes to your material gain. And your higher self has been trying to show you how this person may influence part of the sabotaging that you experience when you try to focus on your long-term goals. I can see with the Knight of Pentacles as well, my group twos, your higher self thinks that this person is someone who doesn't follow through with what they promise. They set plans and they just never follow through. They're someone that may get easily distracted. They are someone who doesn't really have intentions for long term though, and your higher self sees that this person is very good at saying one thing but doing the other. Your higher self sees that this person is someone who cannot actually meet you at your level right now. And this is someone who may have good intentions, but they just can't follow through with the actions. And that's what the Fool card is also saying. The Fool card is saying this person is somebody who simply can't take that leap, that risk that you need. They can't offer you that guarantee that you need in order to align with what your future goals are and what kind of prospects you have. I feel like this person doesn't measure up to your standards, but they also just don't align with your vision when it comes to your future. And this Fool card is very much about you being able to see something that you've aspired towards come into reality. Your higher self is saying this person just doesn't fit that dream. They don't fit that aspiration. They were not going to ever sort of step outside of that aspirational realm and turn it into a reality. With the King of Swords here, your higher self was really trying to help you through a lot of the big decisions that you made in this situation with this person. And your higher self was also trying to make sure that you did things that wouldn't make you feel like a bad person or make you feel like things were worse than what they are. Your higher self really tried to help you focus more on what was actually the best possible thing in terms of for the highest good of everybody involved. So it might have felt like a loss at the time, but it was actually the best thing that you could have done for everybody involved. So I do believe that your higher self is really looking out for you here, and whatever went down with this person happened for your best possible outcome, and so that you could really just take care of you moving forward. I'm hearing number one, which is, yes, big goals, take care of number one moving forward. But also your higher self was trying to make sure with the Nine of Wands here in the reverse that the two of you did not cause more damage than had already been done. So there was an inevitable breakdown in energy so that you couldn't further hurt each other or cause harm to each other moving forward. I didn't do this for group one, but I do just kind of want to get you another card. I'm going to get you advice. I didn't do this for group one, but we'll see. Spirit, what helpful messages or advice do you have for my group twos in this situation? Is there any other helpful information or advice that you have for my group twos before we get those extended readings and messages? We'll take this card because it stayed on the table. Okay, so Spirit is saying now is the time to start doing good. Now is the time to start doing what's good for you. Don't wait any longer. Life has an expiration date. So I firmly believe with this card coming out that for a lot of you, this situation was something that you really couldn't afford to delay any longer when it comes to being able to do what is best for you, especially what is best for you. This card definitely feels like your advice is to just not put your life on hold, to not cause yourself to, don't delay anything anymore if that was what you were doing in the beginning. Make sure that you are going ahead with everything that you aspire to do and everything that you aspire to be, and make sure that you are doing this because you're not trying to fix things with somebody who is ultimately of the mind where ego-based. They want to make your life difficult because they're afraid of you leaving them behind. You have a lot of beautiful memories with this person that their higher self is very, very grateful for, but there is this feeling of you're just not actually good for each other. So it was inevitable that the two of you separate and that you don't cause each other any more harm than what has already happened. So that is what I'm seeing. We're going to check now what the both of you need to know in terms of the extended reading. So I don't really know what direction Spirit's going to take this in. Let's just see. For my group twos, what are we covering in their extended reading? What are we covering in group two's extended reading? Okay, your first card is the Six of Cups. You also had the Judgment card fall on the ground. Let me just get that really quick because I feel like that is important. So there is this feeling of the past and memories with these two cards. Is there anything else you can tell them? What are we covering in their extended reading? The Three of Wands. Interesting. One more card. Are we doing one more card? Are we? Yes. This one. The King of Cups. And at the back of the deck, the Three of Pentacles. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. The Three of Pentacles is here as well. Let me just get my voice notes up. I will record this so that in your extended reading, we're going to play it back so we don't miss anything. If you're new to my extended readings, if you've been following them for a while, you know I've been doing this for a while. Okay, group two, in your extended readings, we got to talk about the Six of Cups. It came up again. I think Spirit wants you to know if there is any, I think Spirit wants to ask if there's any future between the two of you, and how to navigate those moments in the future. The Six of Cups is talking about this feeling of connection and knowing. So we don't want to discredit what you've been through. I think you should by all means cherish your experiences with this person, but I do need to get you clarity on the future of this connection and their feelings for you as well. We need to clarify. So we'll do that in the extended reading. The Judgment card is talking about repurposing, and the only way we do that is by gaining information. So I do want to double check, is there any information you're missing? And how will you find that information? Because if I can't give it to you myself, Spirit definitely has a plan with this Judgment card of bringing this information to you, really causing quite a harsh reality check so that you don't keep making the same mistakes and you can reinvent yourself from the situation. With the Three of Wands here, someone is waiting for something. So with that card, we need to ask Spirit, okay, so for my group twos, who is waiting? What are they waiting for? And what are the chances of that waiting period actually paying off? Are your expectations in the right place when it comes to this person, or are your expectations too low or too high with that Three of Wands? And are they waiting for you? We can clarify that as well. The King of Cups is at the end of your reading, so this is interesting. Your extended reading, we need to ask, what is this person's intentions towards you, with what they know about you and with how they feel about you, because I see them sitting on something and they're trying to figure out what to do with it. This King of Cups is one of the most mysterious people in the tarot deck. Because they're very careful about what they say and about what they show. So lastly, with the Three of Pentacles reversed, we do need to ask Spirit, what is group two's best interest moving forward? If they do have to brush shoulders with this person, what should they do? I think it's very important that you find a way to navigate any shared community with this person, especially if it's family members or if it's friends, acquaintances, workmates. This is showing you kind of withdrawing from a shared community. So I do need to get advice around that and clarification on what that means for you, what is in your best interest. Now, if that sounds exciting, especially if the first part of your reading did resonate, your extended reading link will be in the description box. Please keep in mind, especially if you're new here, that extended reading link takes you to my website where all my extended readings are. So make sure you click on the right group before you purchase. You are group 2 of the How Does Their Higher Self View You, or What Does This Person's Higher Self Think of You reading. So please make sure you click on the right group before you purchase the video. Thank you so much, my group 2s, for being here. I appreciate all of your support right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your energy and your time. Look after your beautiful selves. I hope that this reading was able to bring you clarity. I hope at the very least it was fun or an interesting topic for you. Please look after yourself, and I shall connect with you very, very soon. Bye. Hi, my group 3s, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful crystal or this card right here, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to pop your card up the top and we'll put your crystal up there too. If you are here, it's because you're ready to learn about what the person on your mind's higher self thinks of you. This is a very beautiful reading so far. I've done the other groups. Very insightful. We're going to learn a lot about the person on your mind, and we're going to be able to understand how their higher self has been either helpfully intervening or just overall steering and guiding your connection to this person as well. It's very interesting personally, so I hope we can get some juicy messages for you and some insights that really paint the bigger picture for you as well. So group 3, make sure you have something to write with and to write on. Make sure you have a hydration source, and without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to lay your oracle cards out. We're going to actually put this card out next. We have Choose Your Battles, the 7 of Wands in the Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. We'll put that down there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because we're a bit too close, aren't we? We also have the Musical Messages Oracle deck. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so you got I'm God by Clams Casino. This is the terror emotion. I know that that doesn't sound beautiful. Pause the video now if you want to read the lyrics, or if you would like to scan that QR code, it will take you to the song right here on YouTube. Let me move that over there, actually. We'll do this layout instead. I think that might work better. We also have energy from the Green Witch Oracle deck. This is also the number 28, and we have a bit of Virgo on this card as well. We have, instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. This is from the Universe Has Your Back deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. And our last oracle card is Hello and Goodbye. You will soon see that this change will make things better. Okay, so let me pull my crystals over to me. We're going to pull this a little bit closer too, so that we're both looking at what I'm looking at. Oh, actually, oh, that's the problem. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. Now we can zoom you in again so that you can get a better look at your cards. So group 3, this person's higher self feels like you were definitely a lesson for your person, a huge lesson, reminding them to really embrace experience and to be able to see a situation for what it is. Their higher self thinks that the two of you were really meant to trigger each other in a specific way, to be able to help each other see the goodness, the positivity, the outcomes, the abundance, the overall picture. It's really about the objective. Their higher self sees you as someone that taught this person about energy, about setting intentions, about being a clear sort of person when it comes to following through with plans. Their higher self definitely sees you as someone that taught this person a valuable lesson when it comes to exchanging energy. And they really feel like you helped this person understand that they need to be more considerate of how they invest their energy and of what they choose to feed their energy into. There's a strong message here of choose your battles, but I feel like their higher self thinks that there was certain things done that could have been done better. It's not that you two were distractions towards each other or anything. It's more that with the 7 of Wands reversed, this was a challenging situation that didn't have to be as challenging. The adversity that the two of you were facing did not have to be so great. It did not have to go so far, and it did not have to be so difficult. Things could have been resolved a lot sooner without making things more complicated. So this person's higher self thinks that you were someone that was meant to come in and also teach this person something very valuable, while offering this person perspective, objective, and changes that they could enact after you had gone. There is this feeling of leaving them with goodbye here. I do think that you were at one point everything that this person could have asked for or needed or wanted. And I think that for the highest good of all, the outcome happened as it did. And I think that for many of you, you're asking about someone who you did have to develop a thicker skin towards. For some of you, there is an indication here of an ending. But for others of you, there's a heavy indication in transitions, challenges, changes, and the fact that it just didn't turn out to be a straightforward, easy situation with straightforward and easy solutions. I do feel like their higher self thinks that you're someone who's a lot more focused on your energy now, a lot more careful. I'm hearing cautious and guarded. So I'm getting with this Virgo energy that you put a lot of thought into where you invest your energy, and you're very careful about how you share certain things with people, especially goals. You don't want to just commit yourself to somebody just because they are there. You're very careful about how you do that. And I think with this I seek beauty everywhere I go card, within everyone and everything I see, their higher self is recognizing how you are trying to positively adapt yourself to better suit your own vibration, and to make sure that you're not, what's the best word, like limiting your experiences for the highest good of all. I feel like their higher self does see you now as a diplomatic person, someone who maybe likes to remain impartial or on the fence. There is this message here of you being somebody who's very careful about how you interact. And so I do think that their higher self sees you as someone that doesn't have a lot of energy for this person, but their higher self also sees you as someone who, if you do need to interact with them, it's very intentional for those of you who are still in contact. I do think that their higher self sees you as someone that is on to bigger and better things, and their higher self sees you as someone that had to make that decision for yourself. You had to really do something that was probably quite difficult in this connection, my group threes. For some of you, this person is proud of you. For others of you, this person is jealous. So take that as it resonates. There is frustration here on an ego level of how you've been able to adapt, evolve, and change. And there is also pettiness towards, I know I've been experiencing a lot of pettiness in readings lately. I have to tap into that energy because it is there in the collective. It won't resonate for all of you. Some of you get very triggered by it. Obviously that message isn't for you, but if it's triggering you, there could be something in there. So there is a pettiness here within this person's ego of always wanting to see if the grass is greener on the other side with you. Did the changes and the challenges that you created, in their opinion, help you get to the better side of the fence? So I do think that they may check up on you just to see if what you did actually paid off in the long run. And there's almost this satisfaction in knowing that, you know, when you are struggling, it's because of what you did to them. There's this feeling of karmic justice that they believe is because of how you treated them. But take that as it resonates, because that is a pettier energy. I am going to put these cards to the side, and we're going to pull tarot now, just to see what this person's we'll put that behind there. What this person's higher self wants to, or how they think of you, and see you from a tarot point of view. There might be something else here. Tarot is a little bit more specific and blunt compared to oracle cards. I don't know if you guys noticed that. A lot of people comment on it. I'm sure you do. All right, group three. How does this person's higher self see group three? Tune into their energy, spirit. How does this person's higher self see group three? We have the Ace of Swords. We also have the Page of Wands reversed. How does this person's higher self see group three? How does this person's higher self see group three? We have the Ten of Pentacles. How does this person's higher self see group three, spirit? Okay, and we have the King of Wands. At the back of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands in the upright position. Okay. Sorry, I just need to wipe something off my nose. That was very distracting. All right, so how does this person's higher self see you? To be honest, Tarot is saying that this person's higher self sees you as someone that is dynamic. You're embracing a new opportunity for yourself that has the chance to really show you a way forward. It does seem like a way out for some of you. Take that as it resonates. I'm hearing a way out. But for most of you, this is a way forward. This is a strong message of, you know what? This could really build into something big for me. And it feels dynamic because we're looking at you getting the chance to pivot in a direction that you haven't been able to move in before. I think this is still in the developing stages. It's still fairly new with the Ace of Swords, but their higher self sees you as someone that is scheming. You're generating a lot of good information for yourself, and you are on the precipice of starting something big for yourself as well. I can see with the Page of Wands here in the reverse position, this person's higher self definitely feels like your behaviors were not handled in the most mature way in the past. There is this feeling of disconnect now. There could be bad blood between you, or there could be a lot of frustration between you, a lot of things unsaid, unexpressed more than anything. Energy is really strong in your group as a theme. So their higher self has this idea that the energy is unresolved between you, that there are things that you wish you got the chance to express between them. And I do think that some of this isn't words, but the pages do sometimes carry messages. I am looking at this as potential. There could have been this unexpressed potential between you, this unexpressed attraction, this unexpressed frustration or passion. Take it as it resonates. If this is a romantic person, I do think that their higher self sees you as someone that never truly developed things with their person. But if this is a platonic connection, that Page of Wands is more about the potential that your connection had through similar interests and through shared energy, which is usually generated through shared interests or hobbies. It's like you had a lot more to learn from each other, and you had a lot of experiences that you could have tapped into each other. Bear in mind, our higher selves are connected through the collective consciousness, the collective energy. They transcend judgment, mistakes, and this idea of doing the wrong thing. So I'm using language that is familiar to us, but it comes from a space where there is no judgment. They don't believe that things happen mistakenly. It's just that this person's higher self acknowledges that at some point in time there was a lot of potential between you, and that has now fizzled out. I think that with the Page of Wands reversed, the higher self sees you exploring energy in a different direction. You're moving your eyes towards a new horizon, and you have outgrown your current experiences, especially with this person. You're priming yourself and prepping yourself for a new, interesting, and exciting direction in your life. And that's why I think we have this Ten of Pentacles. Their higher self can see the grand scheme of things. This was a recurring theme in all of the groups, to be honest with you. So for you, this Ten of Pentacles definitely feels more like you're someone who will go on to really accomplish a lot of your long-term plans. You will be someone who achieves a lot of the things that you put your mind to. You'll have a beautiful future surrounded by a lot of loving people and a lot of achievements that you can feel proud of as well. There is this message with the Ten of Pentacles of you being able to make a future for yourself, surrounded by people that truly look up to you. So I do think that you'll turn into quite the figurehead, and their higher self thinks that you are someone who's on to great things. I do also see the Ten of Pentacles as you having a stable, secure future. And I think that that is confirmation that whatever happened between you and this person in the past had to happen to be able to secure that kind of future for yourself, Group 3. You are someone who is meant to continue to develop and go on to do great things. Is there anything else we need to tell Group 3 with that Ten of Pentacles? Their higher self sees you as someone that can really build a lot from your values, from your integrity, and from your loyalty. So if you had to make some tough decisions about any of those big things, it does pay off in the long run, my Group 3s. Their higher self sees you as someone that if you can just stick to your guns, that is your integrity, your loyalty, and your values, things can really take you very far, and you'll find yourself surrounded by people that share all of that with you as well. The King of Wands reversed is interesting though. I do see a lot of people around you in the future, so you may go on to be quite the patriarch or the matriarch of your family, in that there will be a lot of generations, or there's just a lot of people. So I don't know if you end up having a lot of kids, or if you take in somebody who has a lot of kids, or you align yourself with a group of people where there are a lot of kids. It's almost like you're just surrounded by generations of people. So that it's quite beautiful. It's a feeling of like a community around you. Some of you had to choose a community over this person, and their higher self could see that that was the right thing for you to do from the foundation of who you are as a person. That was in line with your values, your integrity, your loyalty. You had to choose that. The King of Wands is reversed, Spirit. Why? Unexpected change of plans. Their higher self sees you as somebody who is very full of vitality, passion, you're a strategizer, you're very good at being able to harness the energy that you have, whether you believe that or not. There's this full-fledged desire of untapped potential within you, and their higher self sees you as someone that can achieve that outside of what you have with this person. You've got a lot to gain, is what it feels like, outside of this person. It's highly likely that if you're asking about a future spouse, this is a very niche portion of you guys in group 3. If you're asking about a future spouse, I think you end up achieving a lot before you meet your future spouse. I think you end up really accomplishing a lot of things and ticking a lot of boxes and becoming this very forward-thinking, dynamic person who has a strong community of family and friends around you before you actually end up building a future with your future spouse. That's what this feels like for my future spouse viewers. But for others of you, this King of Wands is like, their higher self is saying, you are incredibly strong by yourself and very attractive to this person because of the qualities that you have that make you so good at, I don't want to say adapting, but creating. There's a strong feeling of you being a creator, a strategizer, a schemer. Their higher self does believe that the two of you, take it as it resonates, are yet to cross paths or have not been able to cross paths recently. Especially with the 7 of Wands reversed, it's like this energy has been withheld from this person. Your energy has been withheld. See, I'm seeing the 7 of Wands here as you being in Zen mode, very focused on you, very focused on choosing your energy wisely, your battles wisely, so that you don't sacrifice any of the good that you have for yourself. We're not just giving that up just because somebody's pointing a stick at us. We're fully focused on what is within our best interest, and we're choosing to invest our energy extremely wisely. So that's what that feels like. Let's shuffle this back in. I want to have a look at what your higher self thinks of this person now. What does group 3's higher self think of this person? Oops. What does group 3's higher self think of this person? What does group 3's higher self, think of this person? What does group 3's? Okay, look at that. We have the Wheel of Fortune and we have the 3 of Wands reversed. What does group 3's higher self think of this person? What does group 3's higher self think of this person? We have Judgment. And we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, your higher self is really encouraging you to focus on the foundations that you have in your life right now. Your higher self thinks that you need to stay focused on your big plans, on your long-term goals, and on the people who matter to you right here, right now. Your higher self thinks that this person is not a big part of your plans right now, at least, and that they are not a part of what you are preparing for in your future right now, at least. Your higher self feels like you and this person are intertwined by fate with the Wheel of Fortune. You cross paths when you are meant to, and your higher self is in this energy of trying to really keep you in this receptive energy. They're trying to guide you to just stay receptive and to make sure that you are in the right place at the right time in general. But especially for those who are yet to meet this person, you will meet this person by crossing paths with them quite serendipitously. I do think that this Wheel of Fortune is about the fates and things just happening as they are meant to. With the 3 of Wands reversed, your higher self thinks that this person is not someone that you should be feeding your energy into actively. They are someone that should be on the back burner at this stage. You have other priorities and there are other goals that you should be more focused on. There's also this message with the 3 of Wands of you being able to pay more attention to things that are deserving of your time and space right now, so that you're not in this stagnant, stuck, still energy Your higher self thinks that this person is struggling more than you when it comes to needing you in their life, whereas you seem to be very helpfully distracted on good fortune right now and other things that are coming your way. Your higher self will see this person as a blessing and still does because of what they are able to teach you. But your higher self also believes that this person is a big part of a bigger plan. There's a lot more that can happen for you once you meet them. With the Judgment card here, your higher self thinks that this person is a big part of a reinvention process of you getting to transform how you think your future is going to look versus how it actually can be through dynamic development. There's a certain experience or revelation that comes your way that awakens you to a new truth in which you're very excited to step towards. Your higher self sees this person as very transformative and a big part of you becoming who you eventually are. Your higher self does see this person as someone who isn't very dependable, and that is where they are encouraging you to kind of focus more on your own energy. Free will seems to be a big part of this connection, and making choices in the moment seems to be a big part of this connection. So your higher self is strongly focused on self and not trying to get your hopes up by making you feel like you need to be dependent on them. With the Devil card being here, your higher self also believes that this person is someone who is going to end up being someone that you have to have good boundaries with if you haven't already. Your higher self sees them again as a lesson with the Devil card, a lesson of what you put your mind to, your energy to, your actions to, and how you choose to reward yourself. With the Devil card being here, there is a strong message of being able to give yourself a break, if that makes sense, from the other person. I do think that there's nothing wrong with this energy, but it definitely feels like you have to almost wean yourself off of them, and there could be a risk of codependency here. Your higher self seems very convinced that this person is someone that you need to have in moderation, at least at this point in your life, not get too dependent on them being a big part of your solutions. You are the solution. I'm going to just pause the video really quickly and I'll come back to see if there's anything else that I can gain from these cards before we jump into your extended reading. Okay, hi my group threes. I am back. As you can see, I've had a big change. I had to go get my nails taken off and unfortunately I ran out of time in between your reading, but I've taken some time to get back into this energy, and I'm glad I did take a break because as I was tuning back into your collective energy, drinking some water, I got a message from Spirit that your higher self wanted to give you a warning about this person. And I think that's why we had the Devil card reversed and the Ten of Pentacles reversed with the Three of Wands. There's actually a warning here around you bettering yourself because of what you've been able to leave behind with this person. And it's going to differ with each and every one of you, but this is based on a decision that you've already made with them. You will continue to reinvent and become a better version of yourself because you are putting something behind with this person. It could have to do with forgiveness. It could have to do with moving in a completely different direction, leaving this person behind. But there was this strong message of warning. That was a good thing to do. Please don't feel like you have left anything unwritten, unspoken, or unsaid, because I do think that it was a big part of your healing and their success to be able to separate and be able to put something in the past once and for all. So that was a very strong message that came through. I'm going to pull my other deck up where we will ask about your extended reading. And we'll have a look at what we're going to be covering in your extended reading. But I just quickly, because we do have the time, I'm just quickly going to ask if there's anything else I've missed. Is there anything else that Group 3's higher self wants to say to them about this person? Is there anything else that Group 3's higher self wants them to know? Ooh, we got the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Is there anything else It's a weird way of coming out, the Knight of Swords. Is there anything else? Obviously, it's a bit later in the day now. The sun is not being our friend, but I will try to show you the cards as best as I can. So at the back of the deck, we have the Empress. Where are we here? The Empress, if she will show. There we are. I'm going to put her to the side. We have this Nine of Pentacles, reversed. This Knight of Cups, upright. This Knight of Swords, reversed. Beautiful cards. I love this deck. It's so colorful. And we also have this beautiful energy of the Seven of Pentacles reversed. The reason why that Seven of Pentacles, the reason why that feels beautiful for you is that it almost feels like it's setting you free. By putting that energy in reverse, you're giving yourself the chance to try something new. Your higher self wants you to know when it comes to this person, the quicker you can abandon something that you worked on with them, the quicker you are able to work towards what you can have for yourself. So it's not just about giving up on everything. It's actually about redirecting towards something that can better pay off for you in the long run. And I feel like when it comes to this person, sorry, I'm still trying to move all the cards so that you can see them. I feel like when it comes to this person, your higher self is saying there is this warning here of becoming too attached to them, of codependency, to the point where it's actually not helpful for your own needs. There's nothing wrong with really being attached to someone and having genuine love for them. But I think with the Nine of Pentacles reversed, it becomes dangerous when we can't be self-sufficient. We can't self-fund. And we can't take care of ourselves independently. It feels like we're too reliant on this person. So your higher self is saying that you need to know that this person may be of that energy towards you, and to be wary of seeing that behavior translate in your own energy. For the Knight of Cups to be here, I do think that this person is very attached to you. And I think that when it comes to the two of you, there is this real fondness, this unique connection. Messages like this come through to try to encourage you to hold on to your feelings, only from a space of this is a general reading and I'm here to offer as much information to as many people as I can in a short amount of time. So try not to let that rushed message take away from your genuine experiences, from your genuine feelings, and from how it is that you lived and experienced this connection with this person. If there was this beautiful experience, don't let this message take away from that, Spirit is saying. There is a message here with the Knight of Cups that your higher self is saying, for a lot of you, being able to recognize the wasted time and energy helps align you to these opportunities for more genuine connections very quickly. So managing your time and managing the way that you are working towards the things that you want, so that you recognize when you're wasting time on things that you actually don't want or that don't serve a part of that long-term plan, is going to help you let go and be able to free yourself for when something more meaningful, more ready, more available crosses your path, basically. So I hope I've explained that well, but it's just a strong message of being able to let go is not a bad thing, so that you can create space for something that is able to fulfill you long term. And that's why I think we have this Knight of Swords here too. My group 3s, this Knight of Swords is reversed because it does feel like this is about delaying hasty, impulsive action. Your higher self is saying, when it comes to this person, you need to know that there were mistakes made on their end. And I feel there are things that they're not entirely proud of. And I also feel with the Knight of Swords reversed that there may be things that you're not entirely proud of. And that's fine. But I also do think that a lot of this comes from you both just being able to identify your own direction moving forward, and not taking the other person's action or lack of action personally, because you know that you're both more focused. Well, at least you should be, sweet soul, because look what you have to look forward to. The Empress, more focused on this fruitful, fertile future. So let's have a look at what we're supposed to be covering in your extended reading now, my group threes. I hope that was a helpful addition. It feels like it could have been more confusing. So I hope that pulling those extra cards was more helpful in the end, but we shall see. Let's have a look. I gotta pull my voice recorder up too so that I can make sure that we cover everything in your extended reading. Let's have a look. Okay. We're going to shuffle. What else does group 3 need to know in their extended reading, Spirit? What information do they need to know? Oh, we got a direction card. The 2 of Wands. Where to next? What else does group 3 need to know? The Ace of Wands, passion and purpose, a new opportunity to create. What else does group 3 need to know? The Wheel of Fortune, fate is in your favor at the moment. Interesting. One more card for group 3. We have the Hermit card reverse, coming out of your shell, trusting your inner voice. And at the back of the deck, we have the 5 of Cups, if I can zoom out tentatively. I zoomed so far in so that hopefully all the cards could be in frame, but we'll have a look. So let's see. Bringing the voice recorder up. So, oh my gosh. Calming down. Good boy. Good boy. Oh my days. The mailman just came. He was very late today. It freaked Yoda out. Calming down. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so my group 3s. With the 2 of Wands, Spirit wants to talk about direction. Spirit is saying it's very important that you understand what your options are and the fact that you have choices. Spirit wants to tell you that you have a pretty important decision coming up, and it's something that you should be looking forward to. It's something that could offer you multiple outcomes, and it's something that could take you on a journey. So thinking travel, expansion, we're going to have a look at what that is in your extended reading. Next, with this Ace of Wands, we also need to talk about a new opportunity coming your way that will give you a new sense of purpose. There's a lot of passion behind this opportunity. It feels like a creative pursuit or a chance to really express yourself and explore your vitality. So we'll have a look at what that opportunity is and what it entails. We also need to talk about fates. It feels like the wheel is in your favor at the moment, which means that you are in the perfect alignment with something that you've been working towards or wanting or manifesting. What is it? What does this mean? How is fate working in your favor? We'll have a look in your extended reading. We also need to talk about the Hermit card reverse. This card is all about you being able to come out of your shell a little bit, to be able to trust your inner voice, your experience, your wisdom, your intuition, and to also be in the position to coming out of a comfort zone so that you can receive. We'll have a look at what Spirit is wanting you to be more receptive towards, and how, is there any advice that you're missing or information that you're missing to help you feel more confident in the decisions you're making. Last but not least, bottom deck energy is the 5 of Cups reversed. So with this card, we also need to have a look at what you have to look forward to in your near future, what all of this was setting you up for, and how things can get better for you on an emotional level. If that sounds intriguing, and especially if the first part of your reading did resonate, my group 3s, the link to your extended reading will be in the description box. At the time that you're seeing this, it's all recorded and ready to go. Please keep in mind that link will take you to my website. So it's important that you scroll or swipe across if you're on a mobile, scroll if you're on a desktop, and click on the right reading. that link takes you to a page that has all my extended readings. So remember, your group 3 of the What Does Their Higher Self Think of You reading. With that being said, thank you so much for all your time, your energy, your support, your patience in this reading. We did have a few interruptions, so thank you so much for dealing with those. It's been a pleasure to read for you, group 3. I hope this message was insightful, helpful, and informative. Please look after your beautiful self moving forward, and I do hope that our paths cross again. Until then, bye for now. Start your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description box. Clicking that link will also get you 25% off your Blinkist annual premium. A massive thank you to Blinkist for sponsoring today's video.